My daughter got pushed and threatened at camp by a kid who wouldn't stop even after being suspended, so she punched him in self-defense, and now my family acts like I raised a criminal, and I'm stuck deciding if protecting her makes me the bad mom. Posted by you/Lev, Brie, or Fry, Carbs. I need to see if I'm crazy here. My kid, 13F, has a bully. He's one of those kids who's related to someone in the school district. We've had multiple issues with this kid harassing my child, and sadly, my kid is bullied a lot. We're actually switching her into a new school because the public schools have done nothing, and this past semester it got physical. The bully pushed her, and she stumbled back. Fortunately, there were only scratches, but I was livid. The bully got suspended, but he's been suspended before. I tried talking to the parents, and they made excuses, the wildest being that they'll probably end up together someday because of how they argue. I told them, under no uncertain terms, that their son is not to even look at my daughter, and his only words to her need to be an apology. I got the well, he's suspended, so what else do you want? Argument. This summer, she was in STEM camp, and she begged to be signed up, but so was the bully. This time, during their outdoor break, the teacher was physically on his phone when the bully, in full view of multiple students, pushed my daughter and she turned and punched him in the stomach. The bully is now up for possible suspension from the camp, not the district, but I lodged another formal complaint, this time threatening a lawsuit. I asked my daughter if she defended herself, and she said she was afraid he was going to hurt her because he threatened to knock her out. I said, okay. Good job defending yourself. Glad you're okay. Let's just catch a movie and decompress. I told my siblings on Father's Day and was immediately told by my eldest brother and his wife that I should never have encouraged her to fight anyone. I argued that I didn't. I am glad she defended herself when she was scared and the person I trusted her cared was not even paying attention. They argued that now she will see punching people as okay the next time she gets her feelings hurt, and that I am a bad parent for opening that door. Am I? I mean, if she's in trouble and in physical danger, I don't want her to ever think she will get in trouble for defending herself, but now I'm second-guessing everything. She's seemingly okay now, and I took the week off so we can celebrate Juneteenth together and just decompress from it, but I want her to grow up and be safe. Am I the jerk for saying good job? Multiple students confirm her story, so no, I don't think she's lying or started a fight for no reason. She's as level-headed as they come, and I won't say she's never lied to me, but I tend to know when she does. Cameras are being checked because I formally requested it today. I am not a dad, but a mom. Not everyone agreed with my brother, but enough of them did that made me question him, and he and his wife were very insistent. Update 1, 1 week later. So about a week ago, I posted about bullying with my kid, 13F. I mentioned this bully is a relative of someone who works high up in our district. I went into a meeting with the district after my formal request for the camera footage of the event, and I continued to follow up via email and call but kept getting stonewalled. I was frustrated, so I spoke with my BFF who works in education, and she suggested a police report would, quote, put a Bunsen burner under their asses. She was right. Once I had a copy of my report for the assault and armed with all my past complaints and emails with the resource officer of the kid's school, I sent it to my point of contact with the district. It was a freaking miracle. I got a call the same day. A meeting was arranged, and I meet with them next week. Juneteenth was wonderful, and my kid had a blast. She hasn't been punished, and honestly, I was really enjoying spending time with her, so we took advantage of the time, saw a movie, went shopping, etc. I work a lot and am a single mom, so free time outside the general weekends has been rare, especially now that she's doing camps, making friends, and wanting to do sleepovers and such. I posted some photos on my private account, and my brother sent me a text. I won't go into everything because his message was long, but basically, he said I am spoiling her when she should be punished for fighting in school, and I will be raising a criminal. I told him he can mind his business and his own children, and he said, she's not even really yours, and I lost it. My message back was that he's not been supportive since my husband died, and come to think of it, he wasn't supportive when we married. So I don't take his opinion on my daughter with any high regard. If he and his wife want to instill in children that they should let someone hurt them or others, and bullies should have their way, then maybe it's time we spent less time around them. We were going to go to the birthday party for my sister-in-law before all of this happened, a family event. I think my daughter and I will skip that for now. And before it's asked, she is not biologically my daughter, but legally and in the fact that I love her more than anything. I formally adopted her when she was 2 after I married her father. He passed away when she was 6, and I've had sole custody since. Her biological mother is not in the picture. Since my husband passed, it's just been me and her day-to-day. I hope to update after the school meeting. Update 2, 9 days later. We had the meeting over Zoom. I came in expecting to have to come in guns blazing like a maniac. I was ready to go off, go fully feral, but I guess all the legal work I've been doing around this was sufficient fire under their rears. I was indirectly asked to not further involve authorities. The footage finally found proved my daughter's story. With this evidence and all the stuff I've managed to bring to the table, plus having a lawyer's contact info sent to them, they finally expelled the kid. I was assured he will not be at school next semester. It was a win, but not enough for me to stop the legal actions. Maybe that makes me the jerk, but I don't care. Charges are being pressed for assault, armed with the video. Here, it's not life-ruining unless he keeps the pattern of abuse. I'm also looking to get my kid in a STEM-oriented school since that's her passion right now. I looked at packages and tuitions, and it will be tight but doable, and I truly believe she's gifted, smart, and hardworking enough that giving her a chance to explore this is worth any inconvenience. That should be it, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. My daughter doesn't even know about the meeting. She's been happily in camp elsewhere during the day. But a few days ago, she asked me, "Mama, do you think I'm a bad person?" And I told her that I didn't. She asked why her uncle thinks so. I asked what she meant. My beloved brother's stepson has been texting my daughter as they are actually close. My brother has been speaking poorly about my kid. He calls her my stray kitten and not real family. That did it. I'm having a barbecue at my place for July 4th, and I formally uninvited him and his wife. I sent him a text stating that the way he treats me and my kid is simply unacceptable. I am a mom, and my duty is to my kid. I cannot have someone who looks down on her and treats her badly come into her home where she is to be safe. He is not a safe person for my child and thus not welcome in my home. My brother lost his mind on me so badly, I had to mute his number for a while to get some peace. He started with put-downs and insults, but then he went for my kid. He called her some terrible things and then said that I am brain dead for keeping my stray after all the trouble she's made. I just asked, wow. What is your problem with her, really? You're doing the most to hate her. How does a grown man get off hating a literal child? He told me to go away. I sent screenshots to Mom. Yeah, I tattled. I'm grown. I don't care anymore. He is my brother. I love him, but I do not like him, and if he's going to show his whole attitude, I may as well fetch Mom so she can intervene. That was an hour ago. My kid and I headed out for pizza. He better be glad it's our mom and not me about to hand him his own hind. Tonight I will try to talk to my daughter about the school and, sadly, that uncle and auntie are not safe and will not be around, and we may be taking some time just her and me. We are a team, me and her against the world. I will always have her back. Oh, and she and I will together be taking Krav Maga? Thanks for the suggestions. With the bully dealt with, I think this is my final update, so I wanted to say thanks to everyone who kept this mama sane and were supportive. It's crazy how simple, kind, and affirming words can bolster a person. For those who've shared stories of being bullied, I'm sorry you went through that, and as for your bullies, may a popcorn kernel be lodged in each tooth and unreachable every single day. Love always. Chavi and V. Update 3, 3 days later. I am without words. A couple of days ago, I told my eldest brother, Mark, and by proxy, also his wife, Julie, to stick it where the sun doesn't shine, after Mark went on a text storm about my adopted daughter. For background, my daughter, Vivi, may not be biologically mine, but she is my daughter. I've known her since her first year of life, and I've been her mom since. I married her father when she was too small to even really remember, and I legally adopted her. She's only ever called me Mama. When my husband passed away, it became me and her against the world, the dynamic duo. Recently, Vivi didn't start a fight but finished one with a bully she had endured for much longer than she should have had to. The whole saga is on my account if you want all those details, but the short version is she ended up defending herself physically. He's now expelled. My daughter was not punished at home. In fact, I told her good job on defending herself. That's when my butt-crack-brained brother got on his nonsense. He never liked my late husband, and even less so our daughter, and he always had something rude to say about them. But this sent him into a huge tirade about how Vivi will grow up to be a criminal, that I'm encouraging violence, and that the next time she gets her feelings hurt, she will think it's okay to start a fight. Julie said she is concerned because single-parent households produce angry and bottled-up children who are far more likely to end up in jail. I told them I never asked for their opinions, and the rest of my siblings agreed with me. But my brother wasn't done. He texted me vile things about my daughter, and his stepson sent videos and screenshots of my brother calling her a stray kitten, his apparent favorite insult, and saying that she is not my child, and so on. I uninvited him to my 4th of July barbecue, told him he was not to talk to or even look at my child until he fixed his attitude, and he just doubled down. Let me be clear. He is the eldest, but he is adopted too. He is biologically my cousin. 2 of his 4 kids are stepchildren. Julie is a widow. His hypocrisy is breathtaking. So I had my daughter send over all the evidence she had and deleted off her phone, and I took all my screenshots and the like and sent them to my mom. I snitched so hard. I don't have time for this nonsense. I don't know what she said to him, but she called me back a few hours later and told me to let her know if he decides to show his whole self again. She talked to Vivi on speaker while I finished making us some treats before bed and told her that she loves her very much, that Uncle Mark is being a jerk, and if he or Aunt Julie try to bother Vivi or me again, to tell her. It rained like crazy on the 4th, so my barbecue only had a handful of family members who lived near me and some friends. Vivi was happy, kicking her other uncles' butts at Mario Kart, and all the adults were drinking and dancing or watching the rain on my porch when who walks in? Mark, Julie, and their 4 kids. Julie strolls right up to me with a whole chicken and asks where she can put it down. I was like, sorry, what? I asked her what she was doing here and why they were there. Apparently, my dear old brother didn't tell her about our most recent spat and the invitation being revoked. She looked truly shocked. I'm livid by this point, but the kids are playing video games and Vivi looks happy. She's pointedly ignoring my brother, who said hello to her, and when he doesn't get an answer, he throws his hands up and says, "So much for manners." My other brother, Zeke, just goes up to him and starts talking quietly. I could hear Mark arguing, but Zeke just kept his hand on his shoulder. I looked at Julie, who looked like she was in panic/fix-it mode. I told her, listen, if they want to leave the kids here for a couple hours, that's fine, but my brother is not welcome in my home, so she will have to be the one to pick them up. She thanked me and went to my brother, who now had both our other brothers talking to him. They all walked him out. I heard him say, "Kids, let's go," and his wife said, kids, I'll be back by 3. Be good," and pulled him out. I sent him a text reminding him not to speak to my child and that he is not welcome in my home until he apologizes for all the verbal abuse towards Vivi and fixes his attitude about her. My stepdad and mom arrived not long after, and when he was told what happened, Dad started to take his pipe to the porch and sat right next to the front door. Mom arranged it with Julie that she would take the kids home when she leaves, and we managed to have a good time. Today is Sunday. My mom had asked us all to go this week, so we did. She warned me Mark might be there. I warned Vivi, and she said it was fine. I told Mom it's fine, but Mark needs to give Vivi a wide berth. And I told Mark via text that he is to stay away from my child. He replied, I don't need reminders. Okay then. The service went fine. I'm not much of a church person, but Vivi had a solo and sang beautifully, so this mama is happy. There was food happening in the event hall, and Vivi asked if she could stay a while and chat with her friends. Sure, I said. Have fun. All was well for about 45 minutes. I was sitting with stepdad and one of my brothers when Mark came over to say his goodbyes. Everyone got a hug except me. Fine by me. He said, Kitty did a good job up there. And I said, who? I could see in that moment he knew he messed up. I don't know if he meant to say Kitty or not, and I don't rightly care. I said, who? Again, and he muttered, Vivica, and I nodded and told him that is her name, the same name she's had the whole time. Julie tried to get him to leave, and he was almost gone when Vivi and her friends came up. She told me later she saw her uncle come up to us and not hug me, and that made her mad. So she came up to be near me for support with her friends. I did tell her that I'm grown and don't need her to come to my defense, it's my job to protect her, not the other way around. Her response? Just a nod. Kids. Mark complimented Vivi, and she gave a very plain, thanks, then asked if I was ready to go. I said, sure, if she is. Mark sent me a short text telling me I embarrassed him and our whole family with my show. He's upset now because we don't need to make our issues everyone's business at church, and I don't even go to church, so why invade his safe space? He called me immature and said that I need to stay away from his kids so I don't teach them poor manners. I haven't even responded. Vivi is getting dressed, and we are going to my mom's for lunch. Stepdad said Mark outright refused to come when he confirmed I would be there. Mark has told our parents that if I'm somewhere, he won't be there. My reply? Does he promise? I told my dad that if he wants to be this way, we can just go full NC. I don't have patience for this nonsense, and that also means I am not helping out next time he needs anything. I'm out. Dad got quiet and said he gets it but to remember that Mark's kids did nothing. He's okay if I want to stick it to Mark but asks I don't friendly fire the children. I told him we'll talk when we get there. He's going to want to bring up our family vacation, which I took care of, including the hotel and passes, because my job is within that industry. I'm usually the go-to for these things. We are supposed to go for the first week of August. We try to do one vacation as a big extended family per year. We'll see how this goes. Update 4, next day. Sorry, I posted this the day after I wrote it. I'm tired. It seems I picked the right sub for this, because Mark is on his nonsense once again. Last night went somewhere. My kid and I arrived, and she immediately went off to play with her cousins. I sat on the lawn with my stepdad and Zeke, who was already there. Mom was in the kitchen. I did ask if she needed help, but I got the usual, "Y'all need to get out my kitchen," so I retreated for my safety. Julie did come, and she came straight to me asking if it was all right. I told her my issue is with Mark, but I still feel a certain way about her words regarding my kid and single parents. We did talk. Julie is the product of a single-parent house, which I didn't know. As far as I knew, both her parents were dead, and she strongly feels that kids need a mother and a father in the house. She did admit that Bibi is a good kid, and she thinks I do a good job with her, but when Mark is on his moments, she has just learned not to get in the way. I didn't want to pry, but I did ask if she was all right. She gave me a look like "don't even go there," so I backed off. I told her that I love the kids and will do all I can for them, but Mark is really working on his ticket to NC Foreverville. I love him, but I don't like him, and he is a real and present threat to my kid and her well-being. She said she understood and hopes that she and I can still get along, at least for the sake of the kids, so that they aren't also cut off. She told me that they've been having trouble lately, as her daughter Sadie and Mark have been butting heads a lot. Apparently, Sadie is just like her biological dad, stubborn. She's a good kid and has the kindest heart, but she's sensitive, Julie said, because she is an empath and expects everyone else to be too. I handed her a beer and asked what she meant because I was curious. This was the most Julie has ever opened up to me about home life, and she and I have a whole history, which I will have to post about later, which is why I always thought she just never liked me. We drank some, and she admitted that she and Mark have been at odds over the joint raising of the kids. Sadie calls him dad and is the only one of his stepchildren to do so, but they argue a lot. Recently, Sadie said she hates him and simply refuses to even look him in the eye, giving him one-word answers. Julie's eyes were watering, and she kept wiping her tears and apologizing, as it's been a lot. After Mom talked with him, he's just been so closed off. I managed to gather that when Mom called him, she immediately got to the point, asking something like, "Who does he think he is, bullying a child, her grandchild," as if she wouldn't take issue with it. He tried to say something, but she kept talking and finally asked him why he doesn't like her. He got offended and said he loves her and wants her to make something of herself, but my mom made it clear that if he is to interact with my kid, he needs to follow my rules just as I've respected his rules with his kids. Julie said Mom said verbatim, "Not your house, ain't your rules," and she told him she is so disappointed that he is treating an adoptive child the way he hated being treated. Julie said she didn't know much of what happened from there because it became a fight between the two of them. He never told her he was adopted, which is crazy to me because it's no state secret. I mean, we don't use the word adopted in our family, but by biological rules, I am my mother's only daughter and Zeke is her only son. We are no strangers to the concept of chosen family. Never have been. But Julie, by her account, was not surprised but more hurt. She actually believed that Mark was my biological father's son, making my mother his stepmom. No. Mom is biologically his aunt, but his mother passed away because of complications during childbirth. From what I know of her, I will call her Jem, she was amazingly sweet and knew the birth would possibly be life-threatening. That's why she managed to get the paperwork in place so my mother would take custody if anything happened to Jem. I told Julie as much, and she went pale and said Mark said this about my youngest brother, making it all seem like he, Mark, and I were full biological siblings and fighting. He made it seem that everyone else is adopted. It's such a confusing web of lies that I'm genuinely not even sure I have it right. Julie spent the rest of the time chatting with everyone and getting drunk. Mom let her stay over, and Dad called Mark, saying she and the kids were staying over. It's summer, and the kids will be fine with Mom and Poppy's pool and whatnot. Mom got Julie to the guest room, and I started to ask questions as the kids were watching a movie in the living room. What the hell is with Mark? Why is this even happening? He was not always like this, so honestly, what the heck? I was so mad. You don't have to believe me, but I am generally very even-keeled. I am chill most of the time. I tend to be the gal who wants to calmly talk things out, one-on-one. Don't make a scene. But this is my kid. I've been calm enough. And this is her uncle. We can try to dance around each other, but this will come to a head eventually. My kid loves her cousins. It will hurt her much more than it will hurt me or him. And if his ego is worth more than my child's well-being, he is no brother of mine. Anyone who is out to hurt Bibi is no family. I may not have birthed her, but I damn well love her, and I won't be that parent who forces her to make nice for family when family causes her pain. Mom got quiet, and my dad made this angry sad something face and walked off. Mom pulled me into the backyard, and we sat in the garden. She said she wasn't telling me any of this to excuse Mark at all, but she feels some of this is her fault. Mark came to her about his biological parents, and when he found out his father abandoned them, he became very upset. Mom said he was asking because my father, Mark's adoptive father, was distant with him. She said my father, got better as time went on, but he did use the phrase stray kitten a couple of times. I feel bad for him. I do. But it's not enough for me to feel like I need to fix this. So I told her that this is very sad, but he kept his origin a secret from his own wife, his stepchildren hate him, and this is already out of control. Him bullying my kid is a symptom of it, but even still, he doesn't get a pass. She agreed. She said she made a choice. Vacation can still happen with my help, but he will no longer be invited. She said Julie is permitted, but under strict rules, and the kids are coming, but I can pull the plug if I want, and it can just be a sleepover at her place with the kids while all the parents enjoy kid-free nights. I told her I would tell her by Tuesday. Vivi is at a sleepover with her best friend, and I have work to do tonight, so I have a lot on my mind, but I figured I owed an update on this. I'm just tired mostly, but I am not backing down. Mom said she will talk to Mark again, but I said that even if he stopped his insults, I would need an apology to Vivi and for him to find help. I love Mark, and I feel for him because I feel like he is just sad now. He feels alone. He's not. He's been my brother forever, and he's been family since before I was born. I will always love him, but he's being a jerk. And if he's not a safe person for my kid, he isn't allowed near us. Plain and simple. I won't pretend this is easy. It's torture. We as a family are really close, but I can't torment my own child and obligate her to be around a person who mistreats her. I will not teach her to be small for bullies, even if the bully is family. I got this text from him an hour ago. Okay, you win. I didn't answer. He sent. Please, sissy. I can't take it anymore. I didn't respond, so after 5 missed calls, he sent. I get it. I'm not your brother. Okay. But I am family. Can you recognize that? I didn't treat Bea well. Sorry. She's great. Okay. Love you. Talk to me? I need to talk to you. Okay? I didn't reply, and then he sent. Mom has my kid, so I'm going to watch that Megan 2.0 movie a bit. I know I will seem like a bad parent, and I own that. I just need a second. I'm due to pick her up in a few hours, so here I am waiting to go into the theater. Update 5, next day. Well, things have officially hit the fan. Vivi, thankfully, was not home for any of it. Mom had her until her sleepover, so she's been at a friend's. I took the time to enjoy some peace, watch Bob's Burgers, and drink some whiskey. I was taking the time to feel my feelings about it all, and not worry about Vivi stumbling in on me being upset. She's 13F, going on 45, but I don't want to burden her with worrying about me. The truth is, this all hurts like hell. I love my brother, and his behavior is painful. Cutting him off is painful. It's a shame it's all come to this. There was banging on the door. It was aggressive, so I grabbed my baseball bat and looked through my doorbell cam. Mark was drunk and crying. I spoke with him through the doorbell cam as I texted my family. We had a long talk while Zeke was on his way to come get him. I listened as he complained that I loved my brat more than him. I asked how he expected a mother to not protect her kid. We argued, and he said some nasty things, but it finally came out that he was bullied by some family members and people from school when he was younger. He was told he wouldn't amount to anything, and that's why he worked so hard to get his degrees and his job. It was awful to hear what he went through. From what I could gather, as he was drunk, it was something no kid should go through. But how does that excuse the way he's come at my child and at me? How does it make it okay that my child is asking if she's a bad person because he has put it in her head that she's some unwanted stray? He didn't argue and even apologized. He said he couldn't survive without family and asked me to please not abandon him. He promised he would do better. He begged me not to turn everyone against him. Zeke came up and told me to keep the door locked. Mark swung, and they scuffed on my porch for about 10 seconds before Mark stopped and just sat down sobbing. It was messy. Zeke told me not to worry, and that we'd catch up tomorrow. Later, he texted me in a group chat with our other brother, Zion, and my sister, Saria, explaining that Mark and Zion were having drinks at a local bar. Zion wanted to find out what was making Mark act out this way. Mark told him about being abused and that he was called a stray kitten. He always felt like he was not really family, especially when we all started to grow up and get married, and some had children. He wanted things to stay the way they were, but now his family is breaking apart. Then Zaria moved in with her girlfriend, and my parents talked about selling the house for a smaller one now that the kids are all out of the house. Apparently, Sadie told him he wasn't her real dad in an argument, and Julie started talking about a trial separation. I have no context for these things, just that they happened. And then he and I started bickering, Mark's words, not mine, and it became everyone turning against him, and he felt iced out and abandoned. Zion told Mark that he should get therapy, as Zion is a psychologist and knows of peers who might be able to help. Mark got angry and stormed out, then an hour or so later, he was on my porch. When Zeke got to him, He helped him into the car, and Mark ranted that he hated himself, and now everyone else does too. He started talking about dark thoughts and self-harm, and Zeke decided to take him to Mom and Dad. He sobered up, and Julie read him the riot act for disappearing and acting out. She's making it clear that she and the kids will be at the house, and he needs to stay away for at least a week. Dad says Mark is broken and won't even speak more than 3 words at a time. He's just been lying around and took time off work. We've all essentially given him an ultimatum, for his marriage to be saved, per Julie, for him to be permitted near me and not excluded from family events I host or pay for, and to continue to have help from Mom and Dad. He has to do therapy. He's saying fine, and not much else. He sent me one text a moment ago, sorry, and nothing else. I texted my parents, and they said he's physically okay, just on his laptop. I'm worried about my brother, but I can't get distracted. Vivi is my focus, and she also needs therapy. I want to get her in before the family vacation if possible, but I don't know if it's possible. I have a lot of research to do. Thankfully, I have tonight and tomorrow with the house to myself, as Vivi is enjoying her time at a friend's and wants to stay over again tonight. Then they're on a sleepover field trip tomorrow night. I will take tonight to research and see a movie or something, and tomorrow check in with my family. It's a lot. I'm texting Julie now to see about my nieces and nephews. I just want this all to be over. Update 6, 3 weeks later. I am using this as my journal of sorts. I don't really talk much about my feelings to others, so this will have to do for now. My brother has finally agreed to our terms. He sent a written apology to my home via mail for my kid. Because of how it was written, I only gave her the last page, which was only 5 lines of an apology. The rest of the letter contained reasons and excuses that she didn't need to see. I did tell her this, and that when she is 18, if she wants to read it, that will be her choice. I won't get rid of them. I don't believe in hiding things, but she's a child right now, so for now, it goes in the vault. I received my own letter via mail as well, which is how I know he is now seeking help. The idea of losing his wife and kids has broken him, he says, and he realizes that he had a lot of love for me, of course, but also a lot of resentment. This requires some background to explain. I was a difficult pregnancy. He saw our mom largely in pain, or at least discomfort, at least weekly. Me being the cause, and the fact that I was coming, the girl she greatly wanted, made him resent me. But we became close. I loved him, idolized him even, and we were tight until I met my late husband. He hated him from the start, and he admits that. The letter says his hate was less about my husband not sharing opinions with him, but more because my attention was then on my husband, boyfriend at the time, and later on his daughter, my kid. I talked to Mom on an unrelated phone call, and she asked if I got the letters. I said I did, and I read my kid's letter back. My kid is so strong. She forgave her uncle, but will not forget and does not want him around her. She does not trust him, but will be civil. He is not entitled to her life. She noted that I am on her side, as are her grandparents, my parents. She expressed disappointment in him for not making better choices and asserted her hope that he is kinder to his own kids. She hasn't sent this letter yet, but this is the summary of it. I've told my mom that vacation is happening, but he is not invited. I have also spoken to his wife. We're okay. She will be at vacation with the kids. My rage has sort of given way to just sadness and exhaustion. It's a good thing my kid is strong as hell, in addition to her kind heart, but I am not taking that for granted. Therapy and communication are always key, and I am not alone. My siblings, not the brother, have stepped up and have been helping out. I don't feel so alone now. If anything, I feel smothered. So, I guess we're just taking it one day at a time. Thanks for letting me vent. It helps now that I've written this out.